Hello, my name is Robert Miller, and this is the principles video for session 5 of my crisis. Now, you've done choice, you've done conflict, you know I'm going to give you the traumatized version of this distortion. I pick stories and scripts that were once traumatized. I did the therapy, they became distorted. You need to be careful. You cannot see the difference between a distorted script and a traumatized script from a distance. I'm going to be looking up close, paying real attention to make sure we're not messing with one. Be very careful in the script choices we pick, the selection process, so that we don't get too close to a traumatized one, okay? Those night terrors were really bad. They triggered trauma response. That means I started reliving traumatic experiences from the past in the present. If you don't have PTSD, I cannot begin to describe what it's like to handle a little mini crisis like a night terror with your wife. It happens, it lasts exactly 8 minutes. It's terrifying. It's really disruptive. It's emotionally charged. And then during that, I'm also handling a flashback. It's brutal. It's just brutal. And it was part of my life for quite a while where I had to manage the flashbacks, the triggers in day-to-day life. And the night terrors were just terrible. And I'd actually come out of therapy. I was finished therapy and I went back in temporarily for a few months to handle that really unusual situation. His night terrors just triggered a deeply traumatized part of me that while I had processed, this was just too much stimuli. Working on my mastery is relatively difficult because I revisit these traumatized scripts that are now distorted, but they're adjacent. And so it takes a toll. I have to have a cognitive load to explain the explanation, the theory of how this works for you. And then I have to carry the emotional toll of this adjacent work while it's been processed and I'm healed. It is heavy still for me to talk about. That part that was triggered cannot handle helplessness at all. It just has a phenomenally difficult, that part of me has a phenomenally difficult time in handling helplessness. You don't know who you're working with. You don't know who you're walking with. You don't know their story. You don't know the script that's running behind that makes content compelling. Be careful. Be careful with you. Be gentle. Be careful. You don't know the story. You have no idea what I mean by running down the stairs. You have no idea what I mean by that. I will not explain it to you in detail. Not here. You have no idea what it means to relive trauma in a moment that's fraught with weight and so on. To set your hair on fire because the sky is truly falling and you cannot freak out or you will die. You cannot begin to imagine what it's like to survive as a child in extreme danger. I've done the work to process that, but you do not know who else is in your life. Be careful. Walk carefully. Clarity was my solution. It solved this problem. It's a challenge coin. It's really helpful for me. Control is an illusion. I cannot control outcomes. Thank you very much.